My goodness me, atheist, you are the biggest hypocrites ever. Fine, come and whinge about my videos to the stage where you create big, pointless, circular arguments which neither one of us can win, and then go, ha, see, I'm cleverer than you. I thought we were talking about the existence of God. We weren't talking about whether you're more clever than I am. You probably are more clever than I. I don't make myself out to be some genius level intellect, do I? I was simply trying to say to you, if you need the proof for God, don't ask me for it. I can't give it to you. Only God can prove that God is real to you, and that's called praying. So if you're not willing to do a prayer to God, guess what? You won't ever have that evidence. But some of the arguments you guys bring are just laughable. And have you ever thought about this, atheist, you smart creatures you? The God that you describe, you know, that's better than my God, the one that you say is the one that should exist but definitely doesn't, that guy is a tyrant. He's just like you, but worse, with more power. Who the hell would want to live under that God? No one. You'd flee into... I guarantee you, if your God was real, the one that you describe to be better than my God, who is real, if your God was actually real, we would be fleeing in terror. And it would make no difference. We'd be damned and we would die. Like, your description of God is terrible. It just reflects so badly on you. If you think that is good and moral, then that sums up everything that's wrong with this society. Because you're walking about thinking you're better than everyone. You're the one that's holier than thou, not me. I just made a true statement, which you argued with at length. I said, if you want the proof of God, you have to go and ask God. God makes the claim, not me. It's very simple. It doesn't take like 60 comments to argue. Which is why after 60 comments you had to diversify onto whether you are smarter than me. Which no one cares about that. No one cares whether you're smarter than me. I don't even care. You're the only person that cares. So you're trying to bonk us all on the head with how much of a genius you are, despite the fact that you can't understand that God's making a claim, and the reason he doesn't force it onto you is because he doesn't want you as a slave. Now think about that. If what you asked for was given to you, you would hate it. You said to me, why doesn't God announce himself to me? Why doesn't God kick my door down in the middle of the night and go, I am God, bow to me on your knees, and then I shall bless you, but only if you worship me? That's what you said. You said you think God should announce himself to you, whether you ask for it or not, and do it in such a way that you are left in no doubt that you have to worship him. Brother, that's Allah that claims he can do that. Allah's the one that says, bow to me and worship me, otherwise I'll kill you. And whether you do or you don't, you're going to end up doing it anyway, because I will make you do it with Satan if you don't. That is an evil guy. That is Allah. God isn't like that. God doesn't want you as a slave. God doesn't want to have to kick your door down in the night and go, I am God, to give you no option to say no. God wants you to demonstrate that you have a good nature and that you have good heart, morality. And the way that you demonstrate that is by searching for the source of good on your own, without having been babied into it or forced into it, having your head put in a vice. You must worship me. No, that's not God. God is a guy who is there for you if you want him. If you don't want him, fine. He's not going to force you, otherwise you'd be a slave. And if you think about it deeply, oh super intelligent genius level atheists, would it really be good if you didn't choose it? Would it be morality if your head was in a vice and everyone was made perfect forcibly through God and there was no bad, no evil in the world? Would that qualify as good? No, it wouldn't, because none of us chose it. Even though we'd be forced into it, half of us would probably hate it, and therefore evil would still exist, but it would not have an expression in the world. It would only be in here. So everyone would have an evil heart under your God, plus we'd all be forced into behaving good with evil hearts. We'd all be false. Your God is Allah. You're just denying it of yourself, atheists. Some of your comments are absolutely ridiculous. God is the reason for all wars. Right, really? You don't seriously believe that, do you? A, there's wars all over the place that have nothing to do with God. And B, if I want to have a war with the Jews, I can say, oh, I'm going to make a religion that hates their religion, then go to war with them based on my religion. So that's not religion and God causing a war. That's me causing a war because I don't like the Jews and using God and a religion as an excuse for it so that I don't have to take the blame. But that seems like a moral thing for you atheists to just believe blindly anything you're told. And here is another thing. You cannot discern morality, truth, good or bad without God's guidance. And you prove that in your comments. Why would you think all If all wars were down to religion, as religions got wiped out, surely the occurrence of war would go down. But that's the opposite of what we see. As religions get wiped out over time, war goes up. Where does war go down? Oh, that's right, in Christianized countries. Christianized countries generally stop going to war with people. When other people attack them, they show them mercy up until the last minute when they can no longer do that. So therefore, we know if everybody in the world was a Christian, war would cease. We'd still have little fights here or there, but the point is we'd be dealing with it in a Christian way, the way God has formatted and guided us into, rather than going on these genocidal bombing stream, maniac killing sprees, which, by the way, is what atheists profit from. The guys selling the bombs are atheists, the guys doing the planning are atheists. Or no, let me put it this way. Maybe they don't call themselves atheists, but they say, we have religious diversity. We accept all faiths and cultures and ways, like the UN. Who has presided over every single war in my lifetime? The UN. I have a flag for them up there. Now, everything there is to know about the UN, I have studied them. What is the faith inside the UN? Diversity. So you can't tell me that diversity will end wars when diversity is the thing that makes war happen and presides over it, supplies the weapons and congratulates the winner, then goes off to the loser and goes, oh, you're such a victim, to try and build them for the future so they can come back and have another war. Whereas Christianity and God prevents that totally, because we have a thing called forgiveness. If someone wrongs you, you don't have revenge. You don't take an eye for an eye or a tooth for a tooth. You let sleeping dogs lie. You let it go. And then you forgive the person and you don't have a war anymore. Unless the other person doesn't forgive you, doesn't accept your forgiveness, in which case they need that revenge. Therefore, the war is not about religion. The war is about anti-religious feeling. It's about atheism. It's about diversity, which is just a fancy politicalized way of saying we hate God. So it's you that's hateful, not God, not me, not Christianity. And like I said, your comments reflected that. You ridiculous load of people, really you are. And the thing is, the only thing that you could come back with against me was, oh, I'm just a brainwashed idiot. You know, I must have been indoctrinated at birth and I've never known anything different. No, you make that assumption because it fits your thesis. You don't look at the facts and fashion a thesis from the facts. You fashion facts and make them fit your thesis. You're exactly like the flat earthers. Let me tell you something about me, friends, genius level smart-ass atheists. For 2/3 of my life, actually near to 3/4 of my life, I was a gobby atheist who knew everything, just like you are. And I said God wasn't real. I went on a tirade about proving God wasn't real. I was a New Age guy. I was a vegan. I was a lefty liberal. I said diversity is king. Human is the God. I said all the stupid things that you're saying now. The difference was I thought them through to their conclusion and I tested them. How did I test them? Well, I figured out how to do a prayer. Even though I didn't believe it would work, I wanted to examine, test, and demonstrate that it didn't work so that I could prove my claims. You know, you're always going on about how we should prove our claims. That was my claim. My claim was I can prove God doesn't exist, is nowhere. So watch me do it. And I learned how to do a prayer. I did fasting. I read the Bible. I went into the wilderness. I prayed for God to come to me. He did. Now, I can't prove that to you, but I can tell you about it. How can you prove that to yourself? Well, what do you know? Prayer. Do a prayer the same as I did. Do it as a non-believer, same as I did. Do it to prove that God doesn't exist, the same as I did. But guess what? If your heart is pure and you are sincere and truthful, and you are sincerely, truthfully praying to the Lord, which is what I did, He will come to you and prove that He's true. But of course, you know better. Oh, I need a reason to go and do a prayer. I need proof that prayer will work before I go for the proof that prayer works. That is moronic. That is absolutely moronic. So I'm telling you, in order for you to get the proof that you want, you have to pray. Like prayer equals you getting the proof. But you need proof that the proof is at the end of the proof. It's a circular argument. And that says to me, you don't want the proof. You want an argument that you think you can win and you will lose. And that's what's just happened. So I've deleted out all your rude comments and blocked you because you were just unbelievably awkwardly rude to other people and me, and your arguments were circular. You didn't listen to a word I said. But let this be a testament to how idiotic atheism has become in the current day, because when I was doing it back in the 90s, back in my day, we weren't actually decided. Hence why I did the prayer examination and the testing of it, because I wasn't 100% sure. And doing the test was the way that I was going to be 100% sure, and it just so happened that I was wrong. And God did exist, and I'm happy that God existed. And I'm happy that God exists now. So, in conclusion, please stop being arrogant, irritated, angry little atheists who think the world is evil and against you, but you are somehow great and moral, and God should conform to your standards because you're so smart and clever and good. Drop all that. Humble yourself, do a prayer to the Lord, sincerely and truthfully, and he will come to you. You will know that he is true. Then we can have a little talk about what true morality is. How you can benefit society in a real, tangible way, not just mouthing off on the internet like an amateur keyboard warrior with no idea what he's talking about. And we can avoid stupid little arguments in my comments like the ones I just deleted. So please do that. That's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. God bless you all, even you atheists. And I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now. And just for the record, atheists, I don't really think you're stupid. Your position and your logic and your reasoning is totally stupid. But I actually think you are probably quite a nice chap. So think about what I've said. Go and do that prayer. Have a lovely day. God bless you all. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.